Yeah, man. All praise the how about Shemel Shah, double honor to the apostles of GMS, and shalom to the elect out there. Me and his brother, this I'm Nawala. Me and his brother Barack Obama, we just talking on the phone. I was like, you know what? Let's just push the button, man. You know what I'm
Press the button.
saying? But you know that's what it.
You know,
But you know that's what it. Go ahead, go ahead, Rock.
I was gonna say because when brothers, well, first and foremost, what did Yahweh Shah say? Where two or three are gathered in my name, He's in the midst of us.
That's right.
So brothers having a simple conversation turns into edification and nutrients for the spirit.
That's right.
You know, and brother, what happened to the brother got sparked? I hit the button.
That's right. But that's right, brother. Conversation leads to edification.
There you go.
That's what my title of this video. But yeah, like we were saying before I push the button through the spirit, the scripture tell you hope that is seen is not hope. You know what I'm saying? Hope that is seen is not hope. So we out there teaching, we don't know if we're the elect or not. We're hoping that we're the elect. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because in Romans 8 chapter tells you hope that is seen is not hope. So if you could see that you were the elect, if you knew that you were the elect, then you would have them reaching the hope.
Right.
But that's the whole point of hope. That's the whole point of faith. Because pursuing the book of what's that? Hebrews 11, it tells you faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you have faith of things that's not seen. You don't see it, therefore you have faith in it. You understand? Because if we knew that we was the elect, then what would be the purpose of us having faith?
Right.
What would be the purpose? You know?
Right. What would be the point of giving our bodies as living sacrifices?
Exactly.
Because we already know that our fates are sealed,
Yeah.
We're already going to be saved, so why sacrifice ourselves? Why put ourselves in harm's way?
Exactly.
Why put ourselves against the elements and in season and out of season, giving diligence to make our call and election sure?
That's right.
Why we got to give diligence if the election is already sure?
Exactly. Because you got to think about it, it's like you got brothers out there that got ailments and all that. They mother could be just sitting in the house sipping on lemonade, knowing that when the Lord comes, they're going to get delivered. I mean, what I got to be out there for teaching? I got all kinds of ailments, or what I got to be out there doing shows for. I already know when the Lord come, I'm going to get delivered. But see, here's the thing. The scripture tell you that faith without works is dead. You see that? So you got to have them works. Them works is what shows your faith. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why it is faith. That's the reason why faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We don't see it, therefore we gotta work and show diligence so that our faith, so that we would have that faith that when the Lord came, we would be delivered. You know?
Right.
That's what it's about. That's what a lot of these cats they don't understand. Like Nate and his cronies, man. They talking about the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. Now, is the law important? Of course the law important. It's important, but that's not what's gonna save you.
Right.
Because what did Yahweh Shah say? I believe it's in the book of John 8:32. Yahweh Shah said what? Yahweh Shah said, you should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Now Yahweh Shah is that truth, right? And we got to have faith in Yahweh Shah. But what is that faith in Yahweh Shah set us free from? It set us free from the bondage of the law.
Right.
That's why Yahweh Shah said, a servant abideth not in the house forever. Because why?
Right.
According to the law, a servant would serve you for 6 years, and in the 7th year, the servant was free. So even the servant doesn't abide in the house forever. Okay? Just as we wasn't going to be embodied under the law forever.
And what backs that up, brother? When the rich kid came to Yahweh Shah, and Yahweh Shah, he asked Yahweh Shah, what do I do to enter into the kingdom of heaven?
Yeah, that rich man came up to him, yeah.
And then what did Yahweh Shah say? Basically, the laws. He said, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery. And he said, I kept all those things.
That's right.
So that was a law-abiding Israelite.
Yeah.
It was all about the law. But what the Yahweh Shah said, give up your riches, give up sacrifice.
That's right.
Sacrifice your wealth, sacrifice your hard-earned money.
That's right.
And follow after me. And
that's right.
He denied Yahweh Shah.
That's right.
He had great wealth.
He had great wealth.
So where was the benefit of keeping the law then?
Exactly.
There was no benefit.
Exactly.
Guess what? His destination is destruction now because he denied Yahweh Shah.
For them riches, for the materialistic riches. Instead of him taking riches and putting it in his spiritual bank account, he chose the riches that thieves can break through and steal. He chose the riches that moths can corrupt and that can rust. Right. You know, and you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of, I believe it's Acts the 5th chapter with Ananias and Sapphira, if I'm not mistaken is their name. the husband and the wife, and they sold certain of their possessions, but they kept back the money.
Right.
Because they didn't have no faith. Because the
Right.
scriptures tell you that you had those that believed in Yahweh Shai, right? They followed the apostles. They believed in the teachings of the apostles. They believed in Yahweh Shai, and they sold all of their possessions, and they had all things common. Why? Because they sold all of their possessions, and all of the money that they gained from selling their possessions, they shared amongst everybody else. They had
Right.
all things common because they had faith. They believed that they was going to receive greater riches than these earthly riches. Okay, that's what they believe, and that's what these cats out there today don't get. You got these guys fucking eating cornbread at Passovers and shit. What the hell is that about?
Yeah.
What the hell is that about, man? These cats is eating cornbread at Passover. You know what I'm saying?
Prophesying with their heads covered.
Prophesying.
Fitted hats.
Yeah, prophesying with their heads covered, wearing fitted hats, do-rags. These cats got long hair. All types of shit, man. Those guys is leaven, man.
Right.
And you know leaven, now when you put leaven in the dough, it causes the dough to rise. It causes that dough to rise. Now, and leaven also represents what? It represents wickedness. It represents sin.
Right.
Okay? It represents wickedness. It represents sin. Now, that's why the leaven got to be removed from your house.
Right.
That wickedness that's within you got to be removed from within you. It got to be removed from your house. And the leaven being physically removed from your tabernacle, or rather being physically removed from your dwelling place, from your actual home, represents you having to take that leaven out of this tabernacle that our spirits are in.
Right.
You know,
Right.
when you really
Because
think about it.
Like the scriptures say in 1 Corinthians 3:16, that our bodies are the temples of the Most High.
Exactly.
And the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth within us.
Exactly.
So we're not supposed to defile our temples, which means, like the brother's going into, we're not supposed to have leaven in our temples, because the Most High can't dwell in a temple that's unclean.
Exactly.
You know, spiritually.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
And how do you taint your temple? Not only, you know, with tattoos and eating abominable foods, but philosophy.
That's right.
Vainglory.
Mm-hmm.
And opposing, not being brotherly.
That's right.
And opposing the doctrine.
Exactly.
Opposing the name.
Exactly. Walking in the lust of the flesh. That's that leaven.
Yeah.
Because you know, just as you take that leavening agent and you put it in the dough, what happens is, that's why scripture tell you a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. You take a little bit of leaven and you put it in a lump of dough, it's gonna cause the whole lump to rise. You take a little bit of sin and you put it inside of a man, it's gonna spread. It's gonna spread. It's gonna increase. It's gonna rise just like yeast. You know, and we in that time of the Passover now. You know, and another thing, you gotta have a mentality of, you don't want to have that mentality. You gotta have a mentality of enduring to the end. You don't want to have a mentality, well, you know, as long as I make it up to the Passover and past the Passover and still in the camp, I'm good. You know, you got cats out there that think that. You know, as long as I stay in the camp, you got guys think that as long as they stay in the camp till all hell break loose, that means they're gonna be delivered. That don't mean shit. That don't mean go ahead.
So, or like we before we was started the lesson, like the brother was saying, being commended or praised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting titles.
Yeah.
Just because you have a title of sergeant of arms or captain or elder,
yeah,
you know, that doesn't guarantee your ticket into the kingdom of heaven.
It don't.
You know.
And one of my go ahead, yeah.
You still gotta be brotherly.
Yep.
You still gotta be humble.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And like the scriptures say, even with those titles, what does the scripture say? The greater thou art,
the more humble thyself.
The more humble you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
The more you're supposed to be a minister, a servant unto your brother.
Exactly. Because not only that, and you know, one of my favorite things to say is, you got niggas out here and shit walking down the fucking street. I want to go over there and curse their ass out. You know what I'm saying? Doing a show, and these niggas want to walk making noise all of a sudden. But any damn way, one of my favorite examples to give is Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot was a part of the 12.
Right.
He was with Yahweh Shai himself, man.
Right.
And guess what? He fell out. He fell out. He fell out. And like you mentioned titles, it's a scripture in the book of Job where Job said, give not, it's a scripture in Job where Job said, give not unto me flattering titles. That's a scripture in Job. He said, give not unto me flattering titles. Oh, I'm sergeant at arms, this, that, and third. Like, me personally, now rank is just a thing for order's sake.
Right.
It don't mean that you're closer to the Lord than the next guy.
Right.
It is something that's done for the sake of order.
Right.
But you had them guys, you even had guys. What was that dude name that was from Chicago back years ago?
Nasty Nas.
Nah, the other cat, yeah, him, yeah. He looked like one of the singers from Boys to Men. Him, Batak, a crackhead version of a Boys to Men member, yeah, Batak. That dude felt that because he had some kind of high rank. I heard he was making cats do push-ups and shit. He was doing all kinds of foul shit. Because he felt that because he had the rank, he had the right to do that. The greater you are, you gotta humble yourself. Because the scripture tell you what, pride go before destruction, and the haughty spirit before fall. Because if a person has great pride or has great haughtiness, which is the same thing as pride, and they highly esteem themselves to a certain degree, their fall is that much greater. Like Floyd Mayweather Jr., he talk a lot of shit, but imagine if Floyd lost to Pacquiao. Imagine if Floyd lost to Conor McGregor. Can you imagine how great his fall would have been?
Right.
Because a guy like that highly esteems himself, that got that much pride and that much haughtiness, his destruction and his fall is looked at as being that much greater than any other normal man.
Right.
You know? And you got cats that don't consider that. That's why the scripture tell you in the book of Corinthians, I believe it's 1st or 2nd Corinthians, the 4th chapter, the Apostle Paul made a statement. What did he say? The Apostle Paul said, "For we have," he said, "Why do you glory, in these things as if you didn't receive it?" In other words, why you glorying as if you got it on yourself, got it all on your own? Why you glorying as if you didn't receive it, as if you got it on your own, as if the Most High didn't give it to you? And he said, what? He said, "For we have these treasures in earthen vessels, that the excellency may be of the Most High." What's the earthen vessel? These bodies. These bodies are mortal bodies. Mortal means liable to decay. These bodies decay, they decompose. But we have these treasures, these riches in these earthen vessels, that the glory may be of the Most High. The Most High gave us a great treasure, which is His Word, but put it in our earthen vessels, these physical bodies that are liable to decay. Think about that. He gave us an immortal treasure and put it in a mortal body. That right there shows the excellency of the Most High. You got guys that don't consider that, man. These cats out there, they ain't spiritual. They ain't spiritual. You know, they quote scriptures, but they don't even understand the scriptures that they quoting. You know? And they yeah.
Salaki, that's why Paul said, "Deliver me from wicked and unreasonable men."
Yeah,
because all men have not faith.
That's right, because all men have not the faith. That's right. That's in Thessalonians, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the 3rd chapter or something like that. Yeah, he said that. Because for all men had not the faith. As a matter of fact, the Apostle Paul had a cat with him named Demas. And when you read them certain letters of the Apostle Paul, certain epistles, when you go like towards the end of certain of them epistles, he shouts Demas out. And I think it's the book of Galatians. The Apostle Paul says, Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world. That's what he said. Why? Because Demas was one of them guys that the seed was sown among thorns. The deceitfulness of riches in this world choked the word up. You know, because the word is likened unto a seed. And when you sow that seed, you're scattering that seed across the soil. And when that seed grows up, if you're taking a seed and you throw it in the soil, a soil that you have a bush of thorns in, what's gonna happen is when that seed eventually begins to grow into a plant and it sprouts, when it sprouts and grows into a plant, that those vines or those leaves and so forth, those stems are gonna get caught up in that bush of thorns, and it's gonna choke up that plant, and it's gonna stunt the plant's growth. That was Demas. That's a lot of these other guys.
That's a lot, yeah, man.
You know, that's why you gotta pray. You gotta fast. If you feel like the spirit is leaving you or something like that, that's Satan messing with you. You gotta fast.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You gotta fast. Hey. You gotta pray. You gotta put up the 51st Psalms and all. And you don't gotta just put up 51st Psalms. There's a bunch of songs. There's over 100 songs to choose from.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Hey, that's why Yahweh Shai told us. You know, it says in James, if you feel like you're lacking, you pray to the Most High, and He give it to every man liberally.
That's right.
He upbraideth not.
That's right.
Yahweh Shai also said that what He told the disciples when he was going on the mount to pray, and he kept coming back, and Peter and John, or it might have been just Peter, and He told him to watch as well as pray, lest ye fall into temptation.
Yeah. And
how do you fall into temptation? By not doing the things that's necessary to build your faith or build your spirit.
That's right.
Well, you're not exercising your spirit.
That's right.
So what happens? Your spirit gets weak.
Exactly.
Just like anything else. Like if you don't read, you're not exercising your brain. If you don't exercise, your body gets weak.
Exactly.
So the same thing applies to the spirit.
Exactly.
If you don't exercise your spirit, which the scripture say in Galatians, he that soweth to the flesh reapeth corruption.
That's right.
He that soweth to the spirit reaps everlasting life.
That's right.
Guess what? You're not going to reap the benefits of the spirit.
That's right.
You're not doing spiritual things.
That's right. That's right.
It's logical.
Exactly.
It's common sense.
It's common sense.
You know? But at the same time, you know, every brother got their vice and their battle and their cross that they got to bear. You know, but at the same time, what Yahushua said, watch as well as pray. You're watching for the signs.
Mm-hmm.
You watching for the prophecies, and you're praying.
Exactly.
Stay in the spirit.
Exactly. You pray and stay in the spirit. As a matter of fact, I think it was last week Sunday. It was last week, and I wanted to I already did 2 shows that week, and I wanted to do a 3rd show, right? And this is a crazy. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Normally, I don't get tired around that time, you know?
Right.
I don't get tired around that time normally. So I was on the couch, and I was on my phone, and I was like getting sleepy. But I was like, I want to do a show. So I was like, no, man, maybe I'll just do it in the morning. But I was so tired, like, nah, man, I gotta do the show. So like, I rolled up the couch. I faced the east, got on my knee, put my head down, put my hands up to the Lord, and prayed the Most High to put a spirit on me to do a lesson. And I kid you not, within minutes, matter of fact, I had did 1 show, and within minutes, I came up with 2 shows. Within minutes, less than 10 minutes, I came up with 2 10-minute shows. You know, in minutes, man. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like 11 something at night, 12 in the morning, something like that. I went outside, and I put my phone on the screen capture, and I just did a lesson. I walked like 10, 15 minutes one direction, and then when I got done with that show, I turned around, walked like 10, 15 minutes in the other direction, back to the house. You know?
That's simple, man.
It's that simple, man.
Hey, well, that shows that the faith, you have faith, and it manifests.
Yeah.
Manifest into the works.
That's right.
You know? And hey, man, brother just gave a beautiful testimony. That goes with believing, man. He believed. He wanted to do something. He believed in the power. He asked the power. But then the power made it manifest.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And hey, man, that's beautiful, brother. That's beautiful,
you know what I'm saying? And you know, when you do a lesson, you know, you feel good, man. You feel good. When you study, you feel supposed to feel good, man. You know what I'm saying? And it
should feel like a damn burden.
Yeah, it should feel like a burden, man.
I gotta do 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
5 minutes.
Exactly.
You know?
And
same thing with reading too.
Yeah, yeah.
You should feel good about reading.
Exactly.
Wanting to read.
Exactly.
You know?
And let's say if you don't read, you put the audio Bible on.
Put the audio Bible on, man.
And if you don't put the audio Bible on, put a show on, or put a camp video on.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
I asked the spirit brother, you said that because I was going to do a show on it. You know, because that's something, you know, all brothers battle. You know, It's not just me. Oh, damn, man. I finding the right time to read.
Right.
And there's no such thing as a right time. You just gotta
do
it, man.
You just gotta do it. That's right.
There's no such thing as a right time, you know. Yeah, I gotta really be in the spirit. Listen, bro, there ain't no right time, man. You pray to the Most High or whenever the spirit, because the spirit talks to you, man.
Yeah.
Y'all about Shem Yahushua talks to you. Yo, pray.
That's right.
You could be walking up the block, going to work, you know, coming home from work, whatever the case may be, and the spirit is just talking to you, or you thinking about scriptures, then you need to start praying to the Most High, start acknowledging that the spirit is talking to you.
That's right, brother.
And, what I was going to say, you know, you got brother, oh man, I don't like audio Bible because I can't stand Esau reading.
Yeah.
Get over yourself, man. Hey, I don't like Esau. But you can't read on your own.
Yeah.
But you got a problem with listening to the audio Bible, man.
Yeah.
You gotta humble yourself, man.
If that's the case, what you reading the Bible for? Esau printed it.
Yeah,
he printed it. Esau on the publishing companies, they printed it out. So what about that?
Exactly.
What about that?
And then, bro, they got jakes that do audio Bible. You got a James Earl Jones.
Exactly.
New Testament. And then it's another Jake, I forgot his name, but it's a Jake that reads the Old Testament.
Yeah.
So there's Jakes that got audio Bibles. So what's your excuse now?
And matter of fact, you got that brother that got to pay GMS Sound of the Apocrypha.
Oh, hell yeah. Which was like the only audio
apocrypha out there.
for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Years, bro. You know?
It ain't no excuse, man.
No excuse.
It ain't no excuse, man. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta
And then hit brothers up, communicate with brothers.
Yeah.
You know, just like this show was inspired because the brother had hit me up.
That's right.
You know, the brother had hit me up. Spirit started sparking. Hit the button, man. Hit record.
And you know what's so the thing about the spirit? I was calling you up to ask you if you had any Exodus 12 papers in the Hebrew or if you had a Tanakh. And then out of nowhere, we just started talking about spiritual. Out of nowhere, it got more spiritual. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And like I'm about to say, you mentioned something about the spirit talks to you. The spirit just said that because I was thinking this to myself like a week ago. I was like, you got to listen to the spirit.
Yeah.
But see, when you listen to the spirit, it's not an actual voice in your head, which most I can do that, but it's not actual. It's not an actual voice in your head. It's like listening to the spirit is like, it's like responding to how it's responding to how the spirit is guiding you. That's listening to the spirit. It's a response to how the spirit guides you. It's like, you know, it's like if you're sitting there and let's say you on your phone, right? One minute I might be watching, let's say, a boxing match with my phone, and then something might pop in my mind about the RFID chip. And then I start researching it. That's listening to the spirit. I'm responding to how the spirit is guiding me. The spirit is guiding me to look up the RFID chip, and I'm listening to it. I'm responding to that by actually doing what the spirit is guiding me to do. That's how you listen to the spirit. It's not actually word. All right, listen. No, I'll look up the RFID chip. No, it's not that. It's the spirit is guiding you in a certain direction, and you're responding by going in the direction that the spirit is guiding you in.
Right.
That's how you listen to the spirit. Like, for example, me and you was talking on the phone, and I was like, yo, you know, man, no. I was like, no, bro. Then when we start having these conversations, man, we gotta start recording. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna put my phone on screen capture right now. That's listening to the spirit.
Kind.
You know?
Kind.
That's listening to the spirit.
Kind, brother. Kind.
You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, this is probably one of the first videos of this kind. If I'm not mistaken, just talking on the phone, just recording the conversation, just speaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, you know, and that's spirit, man. That's spirit, brother. But you know what, bro? Go ahead, out.
No, that was it, brother. We can wrap it up.
All right, cool. Yeah, cause I gotta make a run real quick, and I gotta break out soon.
Kind.
Hey, bro, man, you already know, man. Good talking to you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Always a blessing.
You already know, brother. You can close the show out.
Yeah, man. We're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Wahab Rakar Kadash.
Come.
And pray you brothers was edified. Until next time, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Peace.